At what point did you decide to become a mindset coach?
Well, it's a really interesting is many years ago, I had a car accident. I mean, at the very beginning of my marketing journey. And I remember being told I'd never walk again. You know, I remember the paramedic saying to my mum, we don't know how she's got out of the car alive. It was just one of those things. I got hit head on. And I was in a Renault 5, which is like an inferior version to a Fiat 500 for people in the 2020.
Yeah,
And essentially,
yeah,
it was like a tin can, and the
yeah,
engine literally came through the car and came through my leg, essentially, and my leg just, and it, had to be rebuilt. And I remember them saying, "You're never going to be able to walk again. You're never going to be able to run. You're never going to be able to kickbox," because I was training for a competition at the time. You're never going to be able to ski, and you're never going to be able to bungee jump. So the last one, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't that bothered about the bungee jumping, but I was just like, my life at the time was fitness and everything else. And I remember 8 weeks later, handing back my crutches and walking out of there. After all of this negativity, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that. In 2010, I ran the London Marathon.
amazing.
And I mean, obviously, I don't compete at kickboxing, but I can still kickbox and I can still box. I have skied once really badly. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. I just didn't particularly enjoy it. And it's
Yeah,
like, and I thought what I did was quite normal. I thought, you have a problem, you apply your mindset skills to that problem, and you carry on. And then I remember when I started my speaker training, because I wanted to be able to speak on marketing and business, they were like wowed by this story. And they said, well, explain to me how you've done that. And I ended up creating my own mindset model called Basics. And, it was very important to me. And they said, well, where does this come from? And I'd come from a single parent family. My mum suffered with bipolar. So I had the huge blessing of spending a lot of time with my grandparents. And my granddad had been in World War II, and he'd
mm,
been in Burma in World War II. And my granddad was Scotland born and bred, literally. I mean, and so he'd never really been out of London. And when
mm,
he found out, that everyone was being enlisted, he was like, I want to be part of this. I want to serve my country. And in those days, what they did was they put you together with your community and your friends, so you were a troop. And they
yeah,
said that that's how you bonded better. And Grandpa ended up in Burma. Now, for someone who'd never really been outside London, that was like, can you imagine the culture shock of that? Of
yeah.
never knowing that, are you going to come home again? Are you going to see your loved ones again? It must have been horrific. Anyway, somewhere in the 5 years, due to a paperwork mix-up in London, Grandpa was transferred to another troop. And I remember saying to him, well, how's that, Grandpa? And he went, oh, well, I was a bit annoyed at the time. I won't use these that much. He was annoyed.
Uh,
But he later found out that this paperwork mix-up had saved his life because his original troop had been ambushed and killed.